Tuesday, June 8th, 2021, and I am at Laguna Beach on a beautiful summer day. It's going to be about 70 degrees today, and I've got of course, the ocean behind me here. And I'm actually on a place called Treasure Island. It's like Laguna, I think it's called South Laguna Beach or something, but it's a ways away from the main beach that Laguna has. And I found this place, I guess about maybe 3 years ago. Just stumbled upon it, like a lot of the things that happened to me. And so I came here actually last year and did, the end of last year, December, and did an interview with my good friends John and Cindy Andrade from right behind me here. Great testimony of deliverance and a marriage. It's just a beautiful testimony. And I didn't know exactly where it might rank as far as the top beaches, in California and or Laguna Beach itself. And till this morning, I did some research on 10 beaches of Laguna Beach. Laguna Beach is considered one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I came to find out that this Treasure Island on Laguna Beach is ranked number 2 out of the top. They have basically a place like a park, and you have to pay for like parking pretty much everywhere, but it's next to a hotel called the Montage, which is like a very expensive hotel, something like $800 a night to stay at the hotel here. So, and you can actually walk by the hotel. There's like public access where they have a walking path. And those that know me know that I absolutely love to go for walks on beaches and lakes and mountains and scenic places. So it's a perfect day today. 70 degrees, no humidity, a light breeze, and couldn't be any happier today. So thank you guys. Hopefully wherever you're at in the world, that you're having peace, keeping your peace. This weekend I'm doing ministry up in Northern California. Host, I've been there before. Also, Prophet Dennis Rainier from Montana will also be there with me, so it's going to be a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. You don't want to miss it. For those of you that are, 12-hour drives away, we've had people that have come 17 hours away. So come on out. It's going to be a time of inner healing, time of deliverance, time of prophetic words. Again, it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. We have Saturday, I believe it starts at 1 o'clock Pacific time, and then on Sunday we have two sessions that we're doing. We're basically splitting them up. So I'm going to be speaking, and then Dennis will also be speaking and giving prophetic words, which is awesome. In fact, he gave me a prophetic word last year in, it would have been in March in Phoenix, and it's came to pass here this year. So I can't wait to chat with him more and how amazing God has been working. And then after the weekend, I will be in Portland, June the 21st, Portland, Oregon, and then June 25th and 27th, I'll be up in Seattle at, I'm trying to think of the name of the church. I think it's called The Point Church. And then you can find my schedule on restoredtofreedom.com, and you can find it at Restored to Freedom on my page, my ministry page, Facebook. So anyway, today we're talking about taking your negative thoughts captive, because a lot of people have them, most everyone, until you truly get inner healed and delivered and a sentence, guess what? You will not have peace. You will not have joy. Woe is me. All this stuff is demonic. Captive, 2 Corinthians 10, 3 through 6 talks about that. If we take our thoughts captive, then our thoughts will take us captive, the demonic spirit. So, I always talk about this because it's so important, critical. I thought that all of my thoughts were my own, And I thought maybe some of my thoughts would be from the Lord. I didn't ever think that demonic spirits could give me thoughts, but my gosh, it's so true. So true. And probably, truth be told, most Christians are going to hear more from the enemy, more from demonic spirits than they are from the Lord. And then there's even people that are prophetic, that prophesy, that would be on the Elijah list, that hear demonic spirits. And it causes people to torment other people, to think that you're thinking something else. Or oftentimes people that would call themselves a prophet, if they're not healed and delivered, they will think everything that they hear is from the Lord, and a lot of times it's not. It's coming from the demonic spirits. And then it causes them to essentially sabotage their relationships with others. Thinking that person's belief. Not, if a person believes everything that they're hearing is from the Lord and they're not healed and delivered yet, they're going to have a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of lies that they will believe that's going to mess up their day. Through so I could hear from the demonic spirits. I didn't know that. When I started to actually be intentional about listening to my thoughts, then I knew ones were the enemy and which ones were coming from the Lord, because those coming from the enemy would always cause me to have fear or anxiety or worry or anger or things like that. And so what I would do is start not listening to the enemy. And whenever I heard a thought that I knew was coming from a demonic spirit, I would stop it as soon as I could. I'm like, why would I listen to a whole sentence? Because if I listen to a whole sentence from a demonic spirit, it's going to cause me to not have peace. It's going to cause me to be angry, speak things to people that I shouldn't be saying, thinking about people that I should be thinking. And so, literally, I would take the thought captive as soon as possible, as soon as I discerned it. Oftentimes the enemy starts out, a sentence with, or you better, or things like that, trying to get your attention that you better take some action, or you better not listen to this person, or that person's got your worst interest at heart. And you could be Jesus Christ himself, be around people who have not been healed and delivered, and love them the way that you should, and will hear demonic spirits speak to them, sabotage your own relationships. So it's so important. And then it's interesting because they did a study, 2005, there were actually 2 studies. And it was interesting because the Lord, he told me, he goes, guess how many thoughts a day the average person has and how many are negative? And I'm like, I don't know. Like they really did a study on that. And God said they did. And they found the average person could have up to 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day, of which 80% of the thoughts were negative and 95% same thoughts they had the day before. So what's demonic? These people are hearing negative thoughts from demons. They're letting them speak to them, and it causes them to buy into what they're saying as being the truth when it's not. It's a lie. So he said you need to teach people to take the thoughts captive as soon as they hear and discern a thought that is negative. Now again, I understand if you're not healed and delivered, you're going to hear a thought. You have no clue to discern what is from the Lord and what is not. That's why a lot of people that are prophetic would struggle oftentimes with a lot of pride, the spirit of Leviathan, Job 41. They think that everything that they hear is from the Lord. I know of people that would call themselves intercessors and so forth. They believe it is from the Lord, and it's not. Because they're not healed and delivered yet. They have a lot of pride. So then when the demonic spirits tell them something, especially about another person, they buy into it and say, yep, that's true. That's the truth. Yep, you're at the Lord. And the Lord, and they often will tell them that's what the truth is. So it's extremely, extremely critical that people pursue inner healing and deliverance. I mean, inner healing essentially is forgiving people that hurt you, seeing them from the Lord's perspective, asking Jesus to come to speak. And I'm really angry at all the things they did, which is understandable. Forgive them, the Father can't forgive us. So there's a lot of quote-unquote Christians that are out there behaving in the fruit of the Spirit. They've got a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness, jealousy, selfishness, sexual impurity. They need to be healed, need to be delivered. And that's what we do at Restorative Freedom. We see some phenomena in individuals' lives, in marriages, and it takes two to make a marriage. You can have one person that gets healed and delivered and the other person that refuses. Now they may act, they want to be healed and delivered, but if you don't see humility in life, if you still see selfishness and pride, they have to want it. And if you're in a relationship, then you're not going to be delivered. And then if they tell you that the enemy is these things, telling them these things about you that aren't true, you should ask them, well, why are you listening? Why are you allowing the enemy to speak to you for a full sentence? You need to take it captive. You need to stop. And how do you do that? Like when the enemy speaks to me about a bulge the size of a golf ball in my spine, trying to tell me that it was cancer, that it was a tumor, I would stop the enemy before he got to the point of saying what it might be. He was trying to suggest that. So what I would hear is, you know, you better go like to the doctors. And when I heard that, I would like, no, not going to listen to that. I could pray in tongues. And I would also retrain myself. Oh, I am healed. It is not possible for me to have any, whatever, sickness is in my body. I would declare that would stop the enemy from speaking to me. And if I needed music and sing and praise the Lord, but I had to get my mind what the enemy was trying to say to me. And there's too many people that allow the enemy, the demonic spirits, to speak to them a full sentence. And then they go on from a full sentence to a couple of paragraphs. And all you're doing is worry. Your child's a failure. Your child's going to be on drugs forever, smoking forever, sex forever, You're a worthless parent. Well, why would you listen? Don't listen to that. I don't listen to that. Keep it. If you need to, in tongues for a while until you can get yourself back at peace. Literally suck the life out of you, and it will suck the life out of those you have relationships with. Who wants to be around a Debbie Downer or a negative Nelson? Nobody wants to be around people like that. They want to be around people that are positive, that speak life. You know, I here at the beach, you know, people that are coming to the beach normally are going to have a little bit of hope. A woman with her husband playing with their son, walking behind me out to the rocks, having the waves hit against their feet, in themselves. You know, and we need to speak life and be positive. Now, there's another study, 2005, done by the University of Cornell University, but it's out in the Northeast, Cornell. In fact, my friend Peter L., that used to work with me at Banker Systems Alliance Management, he went to Cornell. I think it's Cornell University. And they did a study, and it was an interesting study because they said that they found that, you know, with people having, of course, a lot of these negative thoughts and so forth, a lot of them would worry, anxiety, fear, and what they found was of what people worry, 5% of what you worry about never happens. And then of the 15% of what people worried about that did actually happen, they found that 79% found that it was either something that didn't turn out as bad as what they thought, or it was a lesson that was worth learning. So they said that the culmination of that study was that 97% of what we worry about is baseless. The enemy wants you to worry and fear. Oh my gosh, that happened. Oh my goodness, this thing's never going to change. Negative, negative, negative. You know, think about that. That's huge. 85% of what you worry about never happens. You got to understand a lot of stuff you're worrying about is demonic. The demons give you these thoughts. telling you that, oh, you better do this, you better do that. This is going to be bad if you do this. This is going to be bad if you don't do this. I've seen people personally, they get tormented in their mind and they can't even enjoy to the beach. I knew of one woman that, that was at this beach, beautiful beach, it was in Florida, and the enemy kept telling her, there's a better beach, there's a better beach, to this beach instead. And so it tormented her, and she could not enjoy the beach that God had given her on this private island. And so she ended up contacting the concierge. The concierge says, well, I'm not this beach, I think it was called Jupiter Island in Florida. So pack up Jupiter, and it's cloudy, it's windy, the beach is not nearly as clean as the other beach they had. It wasn't private, and it was a ruined day. So think about how many times the enemy is playing with, having fun. Those who are healed and delivered, that can take those thoughts captive, are going to have a lot of joy, a lot of fruit of the Spirit. So it really hinges upon choosing to get healed and delivered and it's captive. Do not people say, well, gee, the enemy was telling me all these negative. Why are you letting the enemy? Why didn't you take that thought captive? Why didn't you shut it down? I'm not going to listen to one sentence from the enemy today, let alone letting the enemy speak to me for hours. So you've got to use your authority, take the thought captive, bind the enemy, shut the enemy down. Do not tolerate listening to even one sentence from the demonic spirits. Otherwise, it's possible. Woe is for that. My child, my spouse, all these negative things. Instead of, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful place. I have such peace. Look at the beauty that it created. Look at the sounds, It's interesting, this specific beach, it goes on and on. And every time I come here, I enjoy myself. I go for walks a lot. I love to go. And, but you want to also the people that tend to bring you up or speak life and be positive. If you are around a lot of people, and it could be your family, could be your children, could be your works, and get out of Dodge. Separate from people that have a lot of demonic influences, because if you're around them a lot, you will lose peace, you will lose your joy, so you need to understand that if those people refuse to speak life, and again, you can do this yourself, and this works. If you're hearing a lot of demonic stuff, a lot of negative stuff, start speaking out loud, positive things. If the enemy's trying to beat you up, condemnation, all this stuff, speak it out loud. Say, thank you, Lord. I declare that I'm happy, that I have joy, that my life is good, that my children are fine. I have more than enough money and finances. Declare it. Speak it out. That's how He created the world, is He spoke it into existence. So we need to be speaking positive. Otherwise, if you let the negative to you, and you start actually speaking the words out of your mouth, not just thinking them, but speaking negative, it's going to affect you. It's going to ruin your day. And you're not going to have a great day. Every day I wake up, I'm excited, I'm happy, I can't wait. Can't wait to breakfast, can't wait to work out. Like today, guess what? I got to work out in a parking garage. It was awesome. Why? Because the hotel I'm staying at, very, very lovely, whatever you want to call it here in California, about working out. So they brought their gym stuff, machines, out to the parking garage. And so it's love this garage. And so it's so cool. They had the music blaring this morning, and here I am working out on the parking garage. This is awesome. This is cool. How many times do you get to work out in a parking garage? New things. I love unique things. And It was just amazing. And last night I went for a walk, found this huge green area, place called Grand Park in, I think, Aliso Viejo. And people were playing with their dogs. There was one guy that had a golf ball and had like a wedge, and he was hitting it on this wedge. And then the dog would try to catch the ball. I was like, this is so fun. Oh my gosh. So there are opportunities that are out there every day, and you can choose to let the enemy speak to you. You can choose to be a negative Nelly, a Debbie Downer, or you can speak life and be positive. Do not let the enemy speak to you, not even a whole sentence. And it doesn't your circumstances look like either. Oftentimes my circumstances didn't look very good, but I would speak life. And if you do get down, and maybe you get down because the circumstances are very, but speak life, declare good things in your life. Oftentimes the enemy, often allows you to go through some things that will stretch you to a capacity that's even far greater than what you had prior. So I always look at all things that I'm going through and know that I just went to the negative all the time. My gosh, I wouldn't want to be around myself. So speak life, be positive. Life, it can be a beach where you come to the beach and you're just sitting there and you're at peace. Sun, like right now, is shining down. Today it's going to be a great day because it's going to be 70 degrees. Yesterday was a little bit cloudy, but I was still happy. It's like, hey, the sun peeked itself out. Had a great lunch with my good friend Robia's movie. She has a new movie coming out. It's supposed to come out in December, and it's about sex trafficking. She actually was the person in charge of Planned Parenthood in her movie that came out, back in 2019. So it's amazing. She is making Christian movies that are extremely impactful. You can be shut down. That movie came out unplanned, and now this new movie coming out in December. I think it had a catchy title. Anyways, it's I got to see her very smart daughter, Gemma, who's 10 years old, just finished 4th grade, getting ready to go into 5th grade, and had a lot of wisdom. Actually, she even gave a word while I was there. So anyways, speak life, be positive, choose and pursue inner healing and deliverance. Yes, Christians get affected by it. It's rare to find a Christian that is not hearing demonic stuff. But when you take the thoughts captured, you're going to have a lot more positive thoughts, a lot more thoughts from the Lord, more thoughts from you. The enemy is still going to try and speak negative to you, but take the thought count immediately. Do not let him speak a sentence. If it's like 2 words, no harm, no foul, no problem. You're learning this. I get to the point, I don't listen. I don't hear the demonic stuff anymore. The thoughts coming to me. Doesn't mean the circumstance could be negative. Doesn't mean that other people might say things that are negative. But if I know what I've been called to do in my ministry, then I ignore any type of negative circumstances or people that might speak negative to me. And in fact, if I need to, I'll block them. It's going to waste my time. It's going to bring me down. Don't bring me down. Bruce. Remember that song? Was that from the 70s? Electric Light Orchestra, I think, ELO. It's true. Want to bring people down. The enemy wants you to. Enemy wants you to be around family members that bring you down and speak negative. Say, no, I'm not you. And if you need to, hang up. Click. If they're on the phone or if they're texting you, don't read the whole text. I won't do that. If somebody tries to send me a negative message or a negative phone message, as soon as I discern that it's negative, beep, on. I'm not going to feed myself demonic thoughts, ever, period. And then if you need to pray in tongues, a lot of people that aren't exercising, when the enemy uses the negative thoughts, oh, woe is me, woe is me. You've got to have balance in your life. I exercise every day. I can't wait. I love to just, You know, in the evenings, I'll oftentimes do a lot of long walks. I love that. In the mornings, I normally work out with weights. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I normally do my upper body. Tuesdays and Thursdays, my lower body. But I always walk. And sometimes I'll run. You know, I have lots of energy. I can't wait to get ready to go every morning. I can't wait to pray in tongues, and listen, it says, throughout the day. It's contagious when you're speaking life, but it can also be contagious if you're speaking death, if you're negative. You know, you can affect people. And if everybody's excited and happy, and then you come in and you're like a wet blanket at that point. And then everybody's like, well, gee, what happened? We're all excited. Well, I guess we better not be excited and happy anymore because you're not. Well, don't let that happen to you. You know, speak life, be positive, and take the negative thoughts captive. Do not. Alrighty, well, I will let you guys go and have an awesome June 8th. It's going to be a great day. The 8th means new beginnings. Let today be a new beginning for you in your thought process. You don't listen to nothing anymore. Enjoy yourself. Work out. You know, I'll say this, is eating. You need to eat healthy. Don't be eating a bunch of fried foods and a bunch of junk foods. And pretty much what I want, but I eat healthy more often than not. You know, I don't want to eat a lot of fried foods, a lot of sugary stuff, you know, because that will also affect you. So everything in balance. Everything in balance. Make sure that you're doing your part to stay in balance spiritually as well. You can get out of balance spiritually. You can start praying in tongues for like hours and fasting for, you know, weeks. And if the Lord didn't tell you to do it, then it can be out of balance. A lot of times people are religious about things, and you don't want to be religious. So, alrighty, I will let you guys go, and we'll see you guys on Facebook and YouTube. Alrighty, bye-bye.